back to Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mou podcast. Today, I have an incredible guest, Dr. Breanna BOSS James. She's the founder
Yeah.
of Bossin Up and P31X, a powerhouse entrepreneur, life strategist, and now the author of her newly released book, Redefined, Flourishing in Life While Becoming Wife. We're diving into her journey of entrepreneurship, self-love, self-care, and what it truly means to prepare for a thriving marriage. Get ready for some wisdom, empowerment, and real talk. Let's get into it. So, hi, Breanna.
Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Yes.
So
I'm so
excited
happy
to
to be
have
here.
you here, honestly. So,
Yes.
Breanna, what inspired you to become a life strategist and business coach? Can you share your journey of how you got started in entrepreneurship?
I think it's probably like almost anybody. You have this passion and drive and zeal, and then you see somebody else doing it, and then everybody's asking you the same type of questions over and over and over and over and again. You're giving all this free advice. And
Yeah.
then one day you wake up and you're like, I should make a business out of this. Everybody's asking me stuff anyway about life. And I'll sit and talk to people about, I love business startup. So they'll talk to me about, I was thinking about this business idea. What do you think? And I would sit there and be like, and then just stuff would just roll off the tongue. And I was like, oh, okay. So you good? And they're like, man, that was great. You should do this as like a business. I'm like, oh, should I? Okay, let's go for it. And then in my family, my dad, he did entrepreneurship. So he had a janitorial business and some other things. So I've seen it my whole life. And I don't really like working for other people. So yeah, this is perfect for me.
I love it. I know you had a 9 to 5 job though, right? Before you got into entrepreneurship.
Yes, so had the 9 to 5 job, background is in human resources, and then currently I actually still work for my church as a director over our initiatives program. So still kind of do the work thing, but it's church, so it's not really like work.
Yeah, which is the best thing. So like that's what I want everybody to have. Like work that they're passionate for, but it doesn't feel like
Yes,
real work. That's what everybody should,
exactly.
right? Like taking your skills, your true life skills, and then maximizing on it. It may be entrepreneurship or some people love the 9 to 5. Yeah, that's great for, and I'm not judging. It's just whatever makes it. But not everybody can fit that type of lifestyle. And that's why I love your mindset. I love like how you share your story and what actually got you into writing books too, because I know you said you write, this is your fourth book, right? So you've had other books before this.
Yes, I have. So the first book was Breaking Free. I believe that came out in 2019. The years are blurring since the whole pandemic situation. So I was Breaking Free: How to Boldly and Relentlessly Live Your True Self. And then I've been a part of actually 3 anthologies. One, an audiobook, You Got This. Another one, Her Unseen Battle. And then the last anthology, which is a group of people come together and writing a book, is Pray Don't Panic. So I've done all of those, and I've always just I like writing. I've been good at it since school. Like English was the easy class for me. Sucked at math, but English was great. And so I just kind of wrote. And then this most recent book, Redefined, Flourishing a Life While Becoming Wife, God actually told me to write that book. I was laying in bed during the pandemic, minding my own good business, and all of a sudden the idea for the book, and I'm praying about it, and all these ideas start flooding to me. And then I go to an Instagram, and all of a sudden I click this thing and I click that thing, and then go to YouTube, stuff just popping up, and I'm like, okay, I'll write the book.
That's amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about that book and what led you to really like what did God send you? Like what type of messages? Because that's pretty awesome to get those. And you have to be aware of what God sends you. I like most of the time, most of us are unaware of these little
Yeah.
signs and synchronicities or messages, and we're like just
Mhm.
whoop.
Exactly. So God's talking all the time, and I make it a point to listen. I am an intelligent woman, as I like to say, but I ain't that smart. So there are some things that I know come to me, and they are divine. And so while doing this book, and I even appreciate how long it took for me to write the book because I started in 2020. This is now 2025, and it's just coming out. I like to say I only spent an actual year and a half writing it because I forgot like on 3 different occasions that I was writing a book for months at a time. It was the craziest little story ever. But the way God arranged it was the book started off with a sincere focus on preparing for marriage. And so it had all the bells and whistles on the things you need to do while dating, getting your mindset shifted to become a wife, because you cannot go into a marriage with a single mindset wanting to be married. That's instant conflict waiting to happen. So that's how the book started. And then that first time that I forgot that I was writing the book for 9 months, then it started to shift what the focus of the book was, which came to, yeah, let's prepare to be married, but what are we doing now? And it was kind of mimicking my own life. So what am I doing with my life now? Smack dab in a pandemic. What are we doing? You know, you're not just going to sit around and wait for nothing. And of course, I didn't. I've got a doctorate degree. I've done jobs and business and stuff like that. So, but what do women really need to do while they're single? What's the point? And for someone such as myself, I've been wanting to be married since 25. Glory to God. I am now 42. Hallelujah. And super single. So there is something going on here as to what needs to take place. What have I missed possibly along this path of I want to be married and I'm focusing on just wanting to be married? What am I missing in life? And that's when God began to show me that he has a right now purpose for my life that I was neglecting, pretty much idolizing being married. So we have to pull back the idol of marriage and say, okay, God, what is my God designed purpose right now? What do I need to do now? And then that's when you begin to say, okay, you've got your degrees, you're doing this business thing, like really go all in for that. You want to travel and you haven't gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Go live to the fullest that you can live. Whatever dreams you have right now, live them fully. And you do all of that while first figuring out how to put me first. Because I told myself, it's the lie that we tell ourselves, that God is first in my life because it sounds good to say.
Yeah.
But he really wasn't. He was probably like third or fourth once you get through all the other stuff. So learning to prioritize God, to do the things that he's calling me to do, then to just have fun and not focus on the marriage part and just really live my life and let myself thrive and grow and flourish. While on the back end, doing the classes, the courses, the reading the books and all the stuff, but really focusing on right here, right now. What is the purpose that God has for me to do? Gaining clarity and confidence and the boldness to do that so that I will be a better wife to my husband when I get there. I'm not figuring out who I am 2 years into the marriage and now I'm a whole different person that he's being introduced to. I don't want to do that. And I want to help other women not do that either.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that so much because we are taught in a society that women, that you're just prepared to just get married and then a man's supposed to take care of you. Obviously, that's
Mm-hmm.
not how the world really works. I'm
It's
like,
not.
I'm like, no, my man don't take care of me. I take care of me and the household. It's a lot.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
different lifestyle. Maybe back in the days where the men went to work and then the women had to be at home, and it just
Yes. That was
we're
different.
growing out of that society and community, which
Mm-hmm.
is great, but also a lot to handle for women. So I love how you write this book because I believe that self-love and self-care is one of the
Yes.
most important things that every woman should learn, or anybody in general,
Absolutely.
actually. If we
Mm-hmm.
all work on ourselves first, then I
Yes.
think everybody will be so much happier. But our society is so focused on the loudness and noise of other people
Mm-hmm.
and what's
Yep.
going on in the outside, right? To distract our true
Yes.
power, our true being of who we truly are. And so
Mm-hmm.
tapping into God is a part of like that self-love and self-care because you can feel
Absolutely.
that, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I love that you write that because even though you're not married yet, you will be, but God has a plan and you have to trust.
Yes.
Trusting
Exactly.
is hard, right? Like for me,
Yes.
that
That is
trusting part is tough. I'm not gonna lie. How have you
yes.
started navigating through that journey though? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're in a society where we want to see things automatically all the time. I know I do,
Automatically.
and I find myself guilty. I'm like, hey, I just need to be patient. I just need to trust. Right? But what
Mm.
are some tips or tools that you've used for yourself to get you to be patient for
Yes.
not wanting to get married yet, knowing that you need all these things before
Mm-hmm.
you are supposed to have that plan or whatever God's plan unfolds for you?
Absolutely. The number one thing that I did, I had, as they say, a come to Jesus meeting. I sat down with myself and really, like when I say analyze myself, I mean, I picked and poked and pulled at every little teeny tiny thing. And I came to the conclusion that as much as I really want to believe that I have it together and I know what I'm doing with my life, I don't. Like, I don't. I know a little bit, but overarchingly, I don't. So I rely on God. And if there's something that I'm asking for that I don't yet have, there's a reason I don't yet have it, whatever it is. And I also accepted the fact that it doesn't matter what the reason is, it'll be okay. Everything will reveal itself in time. And then realizing that I'm waiting, but it's just not this passive, I'm sitting down doing nothing with myself, just whining and crying and complaining. That's not going to get you anywhere in life. So I learned to wait patiently, but actively, to actually do stuff with myself, have fun, enjoy life. Like I said, go to school, build businesses, just write books, whatever it is that I feel God is having me to do, I do that and I focus on that. And on the back end, realize that, okay, I got my stuff. Whoever he has his stuff. And I'm praying very specifically for the husband that I want. I mean, I'm gonna have to like borderline apologize when I meet him. And it's because it's gonna be like I pray prayers like God, break him. Like however he is, if there's something you don't like it, bring him down to nothing so he can rely on you. Like that's some serious stuff that I'm praying. Like let him see you first. Let him get over himself. There's pride. Do whatever. And I'm being very like those are some hard prayers. Do whatever you need to do to get him where you need him to get. And I know the breaking that he did for me in my life. And it was some rough stuff that I had to go through to get to the point of, okay, God, you got it. I'm just going to be and I'm going to do and I'm going to live. And so if he took the time and had to do that for me, whoever my husband is that he already knows who he is, he may be a little stubborn. You know what I'm saying? It's not one sided. It's not just me. So the moment that I begin to take the focus just off of me and realize that one, I'm dealing with a whole other human being somewhere who needs his preparations because I'm not trying to marry just anything. I know the purpose that God has given me, and that is to I'm old school with a new school twist, as I like to say. So I'm one of those, I'm already arranging my business to where once I flick the switch and get married, my stuff can go part-time because my full-time role is going to be my husband's whatever he needs me to be. So I've already got that together. So with that, I need to know that my husband has a good vision, that he's going to walk on that thing, and that I am capable of helping him to do that. So once I did that, I was like, okay, you know what? It's easier to be patient if I want God to shape him the way he's been shaping me so that we can be good together. It just, it helps. And plus I'm having fun. Traveling and all kinds of stuff is great. Don't
Yeah.
got to answer nobody yet. It's wonderful.
Yes, you get to live your like young life doing
Yes.
all these things that, you usually people wait to do the opposite. They like retire and then they're too old to
Yeah.
actually enjoy life. So that's
Mm-mm.
beautiful that God gave you this
Yes.
life that you truly like really strive and love. But it's hard when you want something, but then
Yes.
it's not there yet. So
Mm-hmm.
we all have desires that we're always waiting for
Mm-hmm. Yep.
all the time. I totally understand where you're going, but I love that tip that you said that. Like you already have that model of whatever it may be. And that was what happened for me too, because I went through
Mm.
infertility and God helped
Um,
me to be a better version of myself, to teach me self-love, self-care so I
yes.
could be a better mom. And after I
Yo.
learned those lessons, I was able to have my daughter naturally after having like going through IVF, all this thing
Mm-hmm.
after a miscarriage, and like naturally I got her like my
Yay.
little gift.
Congratulations.
But I look back and I'm like, thank you for that life lesson. That is something
Mm-hmm.
that was needed that I didn't see at the time. But then all I
Yep.
wanted was, I want this, I want this. Where is it
Yes.
now? Right? So it's like
Yes.
all those struggles that we have, I truly believe always leads you into a lesson of what you need to learn so you can be the better version of yourself.
Exactly. It sucks while you're going through it, but
Yes.
if you just don't focus on the suckiness of it and start to reshape your mind into, okay, why is this happening? Okay, great. That doesn't even matter. What do I need to learn? Let's go there. The quicker I learn what I need to learn, we can go to the next phase.
Yeah.
So, what's my education here? And it just gets better.
Yes, absolutely. I feel that. That's amazing. So, can you share some of the biggest challenges you faced in building your business and how did you overcome them?
Absolutely. So the number one thing was that beautiful thing that someone finally gave an ingenious name to called imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
You start to feel some kind of way when you know that you can do the thing, but if you haven't made multiple millions with it, you feel like less than yourself, even though you've
Yeah.
been doing the thing, but you've been doing it for free. You
Hmm.
know what you're doing, but it's like, well, this person over here they're making like six figures doing it. So, and I'm just getting started. I don't know. But I do know, but I don't know. So lacking confidence, the imposter syndrome, lacking clarity. That was a huge one. Like I know what I do, but I don't know how to articulate what I do. And so if you
Yes.
can't articulate what you do, I don't care if you can have 50 people lined up with money ready to just throw it at you, but if you can't tell them what you do, even if they're willing to pay you, they're not going to come do nothing because you don't know how to talk about it. So being able to articulate clearly with what I do and how I do what I do and how I help the women in the coaching and then in the life insurance, how to articulate what the policies are, the importance of it. It's not what you think it is, all the things. That was a huge setback for me. And once I gained the clarity in that and then realized, you know what, it doesn't matter if I make a dime. God has purposed me to do what it is that He has called me to do. And my role in this situation is to do what I'm told. I like to say, I am God's child. I'm going to stay in a child's place and just do what I'm told to do, and everything else will work itself out. So that was the major one. And then from there, of course, is good old fashioned lead gen. You have to have people to talk to in order to get that going. So learning how to be more social, because I am a high level introvert. No one believes me, but I'm a high level introvert. And so learning how to talk to people more and be comfortable with that, that was a serious thing for me. And I
Right.
just began to make myself kind of talk to people. So I became intentionally social, like going on social media. Like literally, I get exhausted and drained by responding to comments in social media. It's like it's bad.
Yeah.
But understanding who I am and how I'm wired, I was able to put some things into place to just go in, do the thing, take my breaks, just get it all together. And it worked out well. So not ignoring me, but actually understanding how I'm wired, what I do, how I do what I do. That is the thing that helped me get that together and kind of get over that challenge.
That's amazing, dude. Everything you listed is everything that I'm going through or been through. It's so
Oh, yes.
I guess it's very common for entrepreneurship, like
Mm-hmm.
people who go through that. What
Yeah.
was some of the tools that you actually did to actually get clarity on what you sell or what you're like trying to coach people on? Because I think that's a big thing that a lot of us struggle with, especially as entrepreneurs. You want to do so many things or at different avenues of some
Mm-hmm.
sort. And then that clarity, for some reason, gets to you or it gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why do I have to like get clear and niche down? Like I'm everything. But really,
I'm all things to all people. It's going to be great.
yeah.
It is. I mean, it took me a minute to buy into the you can't be all things to all people.
Yeah.
But that was when you're getting over people pleasing and stuff like that. It takes a minute to get rid of that. But the reality is, if you are talking to everybody, no one's really listening because they don't know what to listen to. So
Mhm.
I niched down and realized, okay, I love business startup. I love life coaching. You technically, if you just take the life coaching piece, you can life coach anybody,
Yeah.
but you have to have a certain message to life coach to whoever you're life coaching to. And since I love all things business startup, I said, okay, let's get this together. We're not going to life coach everybody. We love business. Let's deal with entrepreneurial women. Then I was like, but I really want to focus on women that want to start a business, but they're kind of like I was. So I have this whole I'm working a 9 to 5 job vibe, but I really want to run a business. So that is where the coaching entrepreneur and professional women come from. I like dealing with the women who want to transition from working a job full time to working business full time, or they want to go hybrid, but they don't quite really know what to do or what they themselves want to do. So you have to speak to that crowd a certain kind of way. So just niching down to entrepreneur and professional women who my mind is I want to run a business, but I'm working this job because I have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Speaking to that, so that helped. And then honing in, what do I really want to focus on while I'm talking to them? And because I'm with all things Jesus, there has to be a frame point. That is going to come out. Anyone is welcome, glory to God. But if you have a problem with scriptures in the Bible, I'm probably not for you. And so I let people know that ahead of time. And so that even in itself honed in who my target within the target is. So I'm helping the entrepreneurial and professional women who desire to live their God designed purpose to use my 5-step boss roadmap to freedom. And the main point is to redefine themselves using biblical principles, not just to redefine yourself, but to redefine yourself using biblical principles to understand who your identity is in Christ and then what he is calling you to do so you can live your dreams out loud and have a glorious life. Yay! It's wonderful. And then you can start a business.
No, that's amazing. I love that. See, when you talk about it, it's like so passionate and that clarity feels so good. I see it within like
Man,
your face and how bright you look.
eat.
Yeah, that's
Yes, I love
amazing.
it.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a very powerful tool because a lot of new entrepreneurs struggle with that. Because I know I
Mm-hmm.
still struggle with that from time to time because as an entrepreneur too, you shift. You like to shift. Like
Mm-hmm.
what you're selling or who you're coaching or whatever it may be.
Because we all of us have this. We do 15 million things, and so it's like, which one do we settle, and how do we do, and where do we do, and all the things. So yeah, I do this, and then I can do that other stuff later. I can do that other stuff on the back end. Because even myself, I have the two businesses that I do, the coaching and then the life insurance. So I honestly, I have not yet figured out how to do one thing. I don't believe that makes sense. And technically speaking, from the time we are born, we're taught to do multiple things. We go to school, we don't engage in one class. We have like 5 or 6 of those bad boys until we're through college. And then you expect for me to just learn how to do one thing. And then even with my background in HR, I was a generalist. So I didn't just like do hiring or just do workers' comp. I did 7 things and I had to be good at all 7 of the things. So I love working with people who need to figure out how to take the many different things that they have and that they love to do and make it make sense, make it complementary. So you pull out the things that don't complement, you can do those later. And if there are a few things that complement each other, we can figure out how to make those work together.
Ooh, I love that. Thank you for sharing what you specifically do because I love the clarity, honestly. It really shows how passionate you are in your work and who you are as an entrepreneur and who you are. So your business is a reflection of you. So your business is all over the place. That means you're all over the
You're
place.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. I get it, girl. That's awesome. So I know faith plays a big role in your life. How has your relationship with God influenced your path in business and personal growth?
It's literally everything. So I'm only doing what I'm doing because that is pretty much, like I said, what he's called me to do. So my purpose is to help him possibly transform the lives of at least 1 million women. So that is the overarching goal. And it was a few years, no, not even a few. I'm telling you, the pandemic time is messing me up. This was several years ago now, probably way back in 2017. Probably about 2017. I was sitting in the office one day, just randomly, I was doing work and just started thinking. And I was like, okay, I need a business name. I'm gonna do this thing. What is it gonna be? And then She Bossin Up came. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. But what is that? Like it was one of those, okay, that's cute. I like Bossin, but what is that? And then that's where the double acronym for BOSS came in. And that is I help women to boldly overcome struggles and setbacks as they positively transform themselves, body, occupation, soul, and spirit. And then everything just kind of went from there. So that is how everything in business is there. God broke it down and everything has its own little sector in there. And just trusting that, again, God knows better than I do. And so if I just follow the direction that he has me to do, then I'll be all right. I won't fail. It will turn out exactly the way it's supposed to turn out. And just that each step, making sure that I keep the clarity that I need to have along the path, and I'm willing to make pivots and shifts with the business. So just even drilling down, okay, I want to deal with these kind of women. What I want to help them do. Okay, we can boss up and all the things that's cute, but if you don't know who you are and you have no clarity in your life's purpose, yeah, this is all pointless. So it is strictly and straight from God that I got the idea, that everything was downloaded to me, and then I've been able to just get it all together.
Wow. I love that because what you're explaining is exactly what I'm trying to do and help with women, like to empower them to really unlock and unleash like what their true desires, what their passions are,
Mm-hmm.
just even understand themselves. A lot of women don't even
Yes,
understand what
not
truly makes them happy, right?
exactly.
Because they they think this thing makes them happy because society, right, makes you believe that that's going to make you happy. Just like marriage, people make you believe like once you get married, it's
Yep.
a happy ending. Oh, no, it's not.
No.
This is not a happy ending, right? Like society does not prepare you for it.
Nope.
Women's health. Like I feel like I got gypped with women's health. We didn't get taught about
Hmm.
women's health at my school. Like,
Nope.
and then I have to deal with infertility and not understanding my own body, which is so sad. Like we
Yes.
women should be empowered enough to learn about how it truly works. And
Exactly.
so and what type of diseases happen too, like not just
Hmm.
PMS, but like endometriosis. I have
Yep.
endometriosis, which causes a lot of pain, and 1 in 10 women actually have this disease, or 1 in 7 now, I think. So
Hmm.
more women than what you believe. And it's so common that a lot of us women exactly just don't even know the basics of women's health. And I'm like,
Nope.
ugh. So I just so passionate about helping women, and you're the same of like helping
Yes.
women ignite that and find their path and passion. And that's like God's work. Like I got
Amen.
downloads too. You're like, yeah, I got downloads. I'm like, I got downloads to write a book too. So I was like, what?
Yes.
Really, this is why we were brought together. God's like, dude, you two need to meet. You guys got to be on this podcast and do something together because our messages align and it's so beautiful. And you say it with clarity. And that's why it hits me like, dang, you're literally speaking the words that I want to speak. But obviously, you do it in your own. We all do it in our own way, but
Yes,
ultimately,
which is
the
the beautiful
goal.
part of us.
Yes, but we
Hmm.
all have the ultimate goal of helping women and, igniting their power, which is beautiful, amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's funny because you're like, I got to download to write your book, the latest one. And I was like, hey, I got to download to write my book too. And like
Let's
things started
go.
aligning. Isn't that crazy? Like my friend usually never sends me anything, but she sent me like a TikTok video about living a soft life, and I was like, "What?"
And you're like, uh-oh, this is
Yeah,
what I'm
I was
talking
like,
about.
"What?" And
That's how it
then
happens.
and then I was like looking on self-development videos, and like
Uh-huh.
people were talking about like bliss and like living and like blissiplan, like adding bliss into your daily life because we live in a fast-paced
Oh,
world.
I
Life
like that Blissaplan. I've never heard of that. I love that.
is so blissiplan. And so for some reason, things kept leading me to these little like messages. And then I was just
Mm.
looking out the window drinking coffee one day, like one morning, and then it's like, you need to call your book The BS Life. And I would like
Mhm.
laugh to myself. It may sound crazy, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's not the bullshit. It's like bliss soft life. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
Love a good acronym.
Yes. And that's funny because I'm very punny. So God knows me so well, or the universe knows me so
Uh-huh.
well that they're like, they had to make it funny and punny because that's who I am. I'm a very humorous,
Yes.
fun, playful person. Like
Mm-hmm.
that just spoke to me, and I was like, no
Love it.
way. Isn't that funny? How
Yes,
that,
and I'm looking forward to the book coming out.
thank you. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to reading your books as well because that, like, literally, our things aligned so well. It's so amazing. But so, our messages work so well about like self-care and self-love, and I really want to tap
Yes.
a little bit more into that. So, many
Let's do.
women struggle with balancing self-care while
Yeah.
chasing their goals. What are some of your top self-care practices that keep you grounded and to help keep you going?
Hmm. Well, the first thing is I'm extremely intentional with it. So I know there's this whole vibe with self care Saturday or self care Sunday. I don't think it should be just one day
Yeah.
a week. I get it. I understand the concept, but self care should be every day. You do something to make sure that you are where you need to be and everything is aligned with yourself. You can go big, on a Saturday or Sunday if that's when you're off and you have the time to do, but every single day I intentionally find something to do that replenishes me, that gives me the extra oomph that I need. And the number one thing I do, spend time with God, prioritize that, get my feed from God and Holy Spirit so I know what I'm doing, how I'm going. That is daily. And I have what I call, well, it's called the pH balance. I love the acronyms. So the PHB, the pH balance is the power hour of balance. So what that is minimum 15 minutes a day in four different things. And then focus on exercise, some kind of meditation, affirmation, time in the scripture, then do some journaling or something else. And then they rotate depending on what's going on in my life. The only one that sticks and stays is I do something active and then spend time in the Word of God every day. The other two can kind of flex and flow depending on what I'm going through. So while I was writing a book, it was minimum 15 minutes a day writing something, just write something. I don't care what it is, but write something. And so that is how I start to care for myself, making it intentional, time blocking it out. If it's not in my calendar, glory to God, I don't care how important it is, I'm going to forget it exists. So I actually have a time block in my calendar with it. And then I do all the fluffy stuff to massages, pedicures, and all the other things that can be done. I take time to read books. I do that every day, read something every day, listen to some kind of get my mind together every day. YouTube is my bestie. When I say I'm on YouTube every day, I'm watching something every day that grows myself, develops myself, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I make sure every single day I get something into myself. And then back in the day when I did have kids in the house, because I've helped raise some of my goddaughters, like it was intentional, like intentional. It was okay, let's have a family meeting. Mommy needs time. So when I come home, you can't just come in my face. Like I know I hit the door and you're in my face. You're like, that this is what it was, just bam, in my face. I'm like, okay, I'm stressing out. I think I'm about to have some kind of panic attack. We can't do this. So even with the kids in the house, I did this thing where I would, you have the car ride home from work. So I started sitting in the car, giving myself like 10, 15 minutes just to woosah in the car by myself, get it together. And then I'd still get hit in the face when I got in the house. I'm like, okay, this isn't enough time. I need at least a good 20 to just be. And so I instituted, I'm going to sit in the car for 10, 15 minutes. Okay, if it's been a rough day, 20. So one, I could get all the other junk out my mind so I can be present for the girls. And then when I get in the house, the conversation was 10 minutes. That's all I need. 10 minutes. So don't come to the door when I get home. Just stay wherever you are. We'll say hi. Yeah, good day. Yep, good day. Okay, we'll talk in 10 minutes. And then at the end of 10 minutes, let me tell you, they was right there, but 10 minutes is what I was the negotiation that I got. So on any given day, I got anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to just think about things, get things off my chest, whatever the case may be, so that once I got in the house and the 10 minutes was over, I could actually be present for the girls and not have all this other junk and mess going on in my mind. And so that is what I did when the children were in the house. And so I have the habit now, I'll do it even now. I'll just sit in the car or I'll sit somewhere and just be. And I've learned how to really just be. And that is the best thing that I've been able to do for myself is learn to just be.
I love that. That is so good. That's really good tips because exactly, you have to put it into your schedule and be intentional and figure out like what works for you. You figured out like 10 minutes. You need that 10 minutes just to put everything down so you can be present. And a lot of
Yeah.
us try to multitask all day long and we're
Yeah.
doing
Exhausting.
half-ass things all day long.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, you're like, I don't feel like I accomplished anything because, yeah, because you half-assed everything and you weren't done. Like you were not intentional on one thing.
Exactly.
I know a lot of moms struggle with this, where
Mm-hmm.
they're entrepreneurs and then they are always doing their business when their kids are around. And then when their kids are sleeping, they're like, "Oh my God, I
I
didn't
miss the kids. Yep.
quality time with them." And I'm like, "Be intentional." Like
Exactly.
it's hard, but you
It
have
is.
to set that time for, okay, I love that tip so much. Like, I'm gonna have to implement that because
Yeah.
sometimes I do catch myself like, oh, I gotta finish like DMing this person or
Yes.
whatever it may
Mm-hmm.
be. Like, I need to do that first so then I'm not like thinking about what I need to do the whole time
Uh-huh.
I'm hanging out with my daughter. Get it done,
Uh-huh.
say it's done, throw it out, boom, and then just focus and be intentional. That's so good.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the greatest things that I've ever done. And then even in the middle of something, because when I had them in the house, I was working on my doctorate at the same time. So it's how do you balance going to work full time, raising a couple kids or a few kids full time, and then going to school full time, and then doing the business full time. Like there was so much going on, and it just became a point. Out of all of these things, what's actually the most important. And it doesn't matter what I needed about what, yeah, you need the money and everything, but raising the girls was what was important. So that's what gave okay, you have this paper to write. You really can get it out the way right now. Okay, you can write the paper at 10. Okay, you can stay up a little later and write the paper at 10 and give that extra time to the girls to be present in that moment and then have to suck it up and okay, I got to stay up a little later than I wanted to, but yeah, getting it done. So prioritizing even what is really ultimately important to me got me to be able to do the self-care and then do the soul care and then do the the child care.
Oh, yes. Self-care, soul care, and child care. Dang, girl, that's a lot. Yeah. And I feel that. Self-care is so different than soul care. And
Completely.
yes, right? So what are the differences between those two?
Yes. So soul care, this is where we're taking care of the mind, the will, and the emotion. So part of my self-care practice has soul care into it. That is I'm reading the books, I'm growing emotionally strong, mentally strong. But at the same time, I don't I don't cover my emotions. I don't shiver away from them. I don't whatever. I process my emotions. I take the time to sit. How are you feeling? Bree, what's going on in yourself today? I'm laying in bed. It is the middle of the day. Why am I in bed in the middle of the day and don't want to do anything? What's going on in your mind? How are you feeling? Like, what is really, really going on? And having real conversations with myself. Am I just being lazy? Or is there something actually really going on? Is there some chemical thing going on? Or is I got this borderline depression thing trying to seek in? What's taking place? So, what's going on in my life? Let's pull it back. Can I do something about it? Yes, great. Get your butt up and go do. Okay, whatever it is. Can I do something about it? No. Great. Let it go. Give it to God and get your butt up and go do what you need to do. And then in the moments where it is, you know what, this is a lot and it's a lot going on. You know what? I'm going to give you the grace. Take a nap, boo. Enjoy your nap time. You can get up later and finish whatever it is you need to finish. Go rest. You've had a long 3, 4, 5 weeks. Just
Yeah.
be. And so I flex depending on where I am, if I sense if I'm being more lazy or if something is actually going on, if I'm procrastinating versus I'm struggling with something deeper. And then spending that time with God, connecting and making sure I'm in alignment. If I say God is important, but I haven't picked up the Bible all week, something's disconnected. If I've been doing everything else but putting him first, then there's a disconnect. So I can't say something's important and I don't ever do anything with it. Same way I can't say my business is important and I don't talk to anybody around. I don't put anything out there and talking about the business. As they say, I'm the greatest secret agent that anybody knows. No one knows I'm out there. No one knows I exist. Yeah, you can't do that. And it's the same way with your whole soul. You have to make sure your mind, your will, your emotions are on point. And most of the time, they're not. And so it's a conscious, continuous effort daily to make sure that I care for myself in that way, as well as doing the smaller little things of resting and doing the extra reading and the journaling and I go pamper my body, I work out, I drink and eat the right things because Lord knows I like my junk food, but my body has made it very clear it don't like it like at all. And so if I want to feel good, I literally have to put good stuff in me and my body will shout at me when I don't. So it's all tied in together. And if you neglect your self-care, your soul care, your life is going to be an absolute mess, which means your business is going to be a mess. And then your relationships are going to be a mess. Everything is just going to be a mess. And then if you do have children, your child care is going to be a mess. If you have a husband, your relationship with your husband care is going to be a mess. I'm one of those. I believe that women should have a care plan for everything themselves, their kids, and their husband. A lot of women neglect a care plan for their husband. I don't even have a husband yet, and I already have a plan for him. Okay. There's a foundational plan that I have. And once I know him, then I'm going to just tweak it to fit him. It's just you have to care for everything in your life, or the neglect is going to come forth and you're going to end up with weeds in your garden. And I want a pretty garden.
Yeah. Thank you for that beautiful, amazing advice. Honestly, I didn't even think it that way of like breaking it apart of like child and then husband care. Like what? That's amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
your husband, your future hubby is gonna be so like so lucky to have you because
Amen.
Yeah, because you're already preparing that. And I'm gonna like wait for the good news one of these days and like, "Woo!"
Be like, hey girl, guess what?
Yeah. And I'm gonna be like, yes, how
Mm-hmm.
exciting. I knew it. I mean, like, of course I know it's gonna happen, but like when, right?
Yes.
When?
When, yeah. So
That's the
I'm
question
relaxing.
too.
Mm-hmm.
It's always when, but we gotta be patient. We
Yes.
gotta wait it out. Just like me. I'm like, when is my second baby gonna happen, right? Like, because
Ah, yeah.
we're always waiting for that. It's a
Yes,
lot.
and you just have fun making the baby. You know what I'm saying? Let the baby come when the baby comes. It just is what it is. It's a great time.
Yeah, but it's a lot of work, like prepping my body, like
Yes.
doing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
self-care, self-love. And I totally
Yes.
get you on eating the junk food. Like my body screams at me, hates me when I eat. Like even if I have caffeine, I love coffee so much. I just love the taste. I don't like what
Mm,
effect it does.
damn.
And I just smell it and I'm like, ah, it smells so good, but I have to resist. I'm like, I gotta take care of my
Mm-hmm.
temple, my like body. Yeah, because
Yes.
then I would feel like crap all day long, or
Mm-hmm.
like I'll be jittery, or my endometriosis flares up. So I don't,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so it's a lot. So what are some common mistakes people make when looking for love that could be avoided by focusing on self-development first?
Yes. The greatest thing is not knowing who you are, what you want, what you're called to do, who you're called to be, just everything concerning that.
Yeah.
Developing yourself personally before you find the man. Man, it just makes so I just think back to 25. I can go 25, 30, 35, 40, now 42. I am completely completely different. My thought process is different. How I handle situations is different. What I even desire in life itself and what I desire from a man is different. So if I didn't take the time to really learn that, so let's just say I got married at about 30. So now at 42, I'm married. I would still, while married, have been going through this same process, but it would have been a struggle because, again, 30 to 42, I'm a completely different person. I like certain different things or whatever. One thing that I noticed when really analyzing myself is it is not a I would like to have or I want a man who, wants to grow and develop and, read books and take courses and study and do all that stuff. That sounds nice. No, that's not a want. That is a need. I need a man who desires those things. And I didn't figure that out until I was in a relationship and I wanted that, just wanted it and didn't get it and how it made me feel. And I was like, but we mean tell me we can't read a book together? Like we can't learn and grow together? No, I'm good. I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. So you want to try, you're not going to stay as you are. So something's going to shift. So let's be intentional about this. And after that relationship, I was like, man, I really need a man who wants to grow and develop intentionally. And so that way, I'm doing all this now. I know that that is a non-negotiable. So I can come into the scene being like, hey, so, do you read books? I mean, what's the last book you read? What do you think about that book? Have you taken this class? Have you done this thing? What's the last seminar or webinar you attended? Like, I can ask these things and know bottoms down. If he says, oh, I mean, reading, I read a book a couple years ago. He not the one.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to play those games because I know what I need versus just okay. That's maybe I can have that or whatnot. So you learn more of what you need by learning who you are. You can determine the flexible things that okay, if he has this, good, but if not, it's cool. Versus no, he has to have this, and then I need to be able to be this way in a relationship because one of the things my gift is the gift of helps and administration. That is the greatest thing that I do. And I was in a relationship one time where I wanted to help. He needed my help, but him wouldn't let me help. Like at all. I couldn't, what I specialize in, I couldn't do it. And it was like the worst thing ever. I was going against the grain. And I'm like, I feel pointless. A wife is supposed to be able to help, and I can't help. I don't understand. This doesn't make sense. Like I just got dumbfounded. And so I'm like, that's another thing. How do you feel about your woman being of help and service to you? Are you willing to take help? Are you willing to let your woman give you advice? Those are things that I need to know beforehand because if he's not, again, this was fun, but
Yeah.
no, we're not gonna make it. And here's why. And so just again, knowing oneself is the best thing that can be done before, and having those non-negotiables, and not stupid non-negotiables, and I'm saying that very blatantly. It is a very stupid non-negotiable for a person to have to look a certain kind of way, for a person to have a certain amount of money, for a person to have to, like, that stuff doesn't matter. Character is actually what matters. Because again, someone can be beautiful today and something happen tomorrow and they don't look as beautiful. And you need to be able to stay with that person you're married to them. You need to be able to work through that. Someone could be balling today and something happened, as many people found out during the pandemic, and they broke tomorrow.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to get along. And if the pandemic didn't teach anybody anything, yeah, couples were having a hard time being stuck at home all day, every day with each other.
Yeah.
Why? Because they never took the time to really do that. You go to your job, he goes to his job, you do the
Hmm.
things that you do, but you're not really together. I actually want to marry somebody who I want to be around.
Yeah.
So I first have to want to be with myself.
That's so funny because during the pandemic, my sister's a actually attorney and she's a divorce attorney.
I
And she's like, during
know.
the pandemic, there was so many divorces like happening. She's like, business was booming during that time. It
Say
just
that's precious truth.
shows
Mm-hmm.
how people, like you said, really just don't really get to know each other. They're just so busy
Yes.
with their lives and they just come home and just like go
Mm-hmm.
and have dinner or whatever it may be,
Yep.
but like not really understanding one another, which is so
Mm-hmm.
funny. So for the woman listening today who feels lost in love or life, what is one piece of wisdom you want her to take away from this conversation today?
Pretty much, you are the piece. You are the important feature. You are valuable. You're worthy. You are all the things. And if you focus on, this is a time to prepare yourself. This little waiting room is not just some place where you're going to sit like you're at the hospital waiting to be seen. No, this is your field. This is a training ground. Just don't focus on the fact that you don't have this love or this relationship that you want. I am queen of being third, fifth, seventh, ninth, 11th wheel. I've been that way for a while. And one day I was like, you know what? I would rather wait patiently and actively, living life, doing what God has called me to do now, and be single than have gotten whatever was going to come to me just so I could say I have a man, I'm in a relationship, and I could express that love, but be in an empty, dead, just terrible relationship just so I can say I have one. I'm good. If I just want that, I can go get a puppy. Like, no, I don't want to do that. So the one thing I'm going to tell you, you are valuable, you are worthy, and you are worth the wait. You are worth the wait. Not, don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about anyone else. You're worth the time that you are going to take to prepare for what it is that God has for you. And then for you to be the most excellent version of yourself for you, not for the man first, for you first. And then, yay, as a byproduct, you get to be the most excellent version of yourself for whoever the man is that's going to come into your life. So focus on you getting yourself together, doing what you need to do, enjoying life, knowing that when the time is right, who it is that you should be with will be there, will be ready. He will have gone through the same process if you're praying right, and y'all will be good, more so than
I
not.
love that. Thank you so much for all your wisdom today. Like, honestly, you are so knowledgeable. I love how much self-love, self-care you give to yourself, and you gave all those tips to us today. That's so valuable, honestly. Like, thank you again. Last but not least, where can the listeners connect with you or find more about you?
Yes, so like I told you, I'm working on being more social and all the things. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Those are the main places that I exist at. I'm even trying to be on Alignable, y'all. Listen, I'm getting it together. So you can find me in those places. I also have a podcast, Carpet Conversations, that's across different platforms. YouTube is one of the main ones that's there. And then the book, Redefine, Flourishing in Life While Becoming Wife, can be found on Amazon, or you can visit redefinedbook.com for that. So super excited about all the things.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I will put all the links in the show notes below as well. So thank you so much for today.
Listen, thank you for having me. It has been a joy and a blissful pleasure. This has been so soft and just enjoyable. I love it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.